Yes.
He posted "Long Live the King" on social media, and the White House mucked up a Face magazine cover with him wearing a crown. He says he would have had a hard life if he wasn't elected, and now we all have a hard life because he was.
Yeah. What he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says,
welcome, Patriots, and get ready for an explosive analysis of The View program. The total hysteria of The View hosts after Donald Trump declared himself king. And today we are going to start unmasking how the left is in total panic because of Donald Trump's brilliant strategy. So stop everything you're doing and fasten your seatbelts, because what you're about to see will make America tremble. And get ready for the shock, okay? Come see how the left distorts a simple joke into a threat to democracy.
So Trump has been in power for just a month, and he already gave himself a promotion. Doesn't it feel like 10 years?
yes.
He posted "Long Live the King" on social media, and the White House mucked up a Face magazine cover with him wearing a crown. See that? Yeah, he's the Lion King. Life would have been like if he hadn't run for president again. It would have been so sad for him. Watch.
I had to make a big decision, and it was a very risky decision, because if I would have lost, my life would have been a much different life. It would have been a very nasty life. They were going after me at levels that nobody's ever seen before. I had to make a decision, do I do this? Because if I lost, it would have been very, very bad. It was dangerous, actually, very dangerous in so many different ways.
He says he would have had a hard life if he wasn't elected, and now we all have a hard life because he won.
And what we just saw is a clear example of how the liberal media is losing its mind with every brilliant move by our President Trump. Watch how they try to ridicule the image of a king, when in fact it's a powerful metaphor that the strong leader of America needs. And here in this video, we will expose the biased narratives of the liberal media, and Trump's sacrifice for the nation is about to be revealed. But the media doesn't want you to know that. But you will find out now in this video. Come with me.
Ask you, Sonny, did winning the election save him from going to prison?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
He was convicted of 34 counts here in New York. There is no power, pardon power for a state conviction. And there is for a federal conviction.
Well, he could have pardoned himself.
He could have tried to not for state. Even the president can't do that.
Right.
But I will say, I mean, his sentencing was coming up, and then he won, and it all went away. And he had 3 other cases that were pending. Jack Smith had to drop them because he was going to fire Jack Smith anyway. So Jack Smith dropped them, who was the federal prosecutor responsible for really the election interference case in January 6th. Those were, I thought, very meaty and robust cases.
That doesn't sound American to me, Alyssa. If the person gets all the charges dropped from the guy just because he wins an election, is that American?
I could argue that the precedent of imprisoning a president of the United States and sentencing them when they're a sitting president would be dangerous and complicated to do, or you can have Secret Service with him in jail. I mean, there's just a lot of things. It would just be completely unprecedented.
It's DOJ policy not to indict or imprison a sitting president.
What if it was a Democrat?
I would feel the same way.
This is Trump's undeniable genius in action. And while the left twists and turns in anger, Trump once again bravely shows his courage to face challenges, to save our nation. And he sacrificed a comfortable life to fight for each one of us. And that is truly what America needs. Fake news alert. Watch how the left tries to criminalize an innocent man. And this will shock you.
I have something to say about this "Long Live the King." It's a very interesting political comment about him last week. He wrote in the New York Times, he's excellent, "Don't believe Trump."
Yeah.
And what he said is that Trump has never really wanted to be president. He actually has always wanted to be king. And he also says that his plan this time is to first play king on television. And if we believe he is already king, we will be likelier to let him govern as a king. So don't believe him. Because right now what we're seeing is he's waving his scepter, his king scepter. Yeah. Congestion pricing is gone.
Right.
He's waving his scepter.
Although I'm pro-congestion pricing being gone, and Whoopi would agree with me.
Well, I don't know. I feel like my drive-in has been a little bit easier and smoother. But, you know, he's waving the scepter around, and people seem to think that things are happening by executive order. And I think that is his plan. He wants to run for a 3rd term.
Well, frankly, I think Elon Musk is king, and he's much more of a... Look, you know, I think what he did with this with this king calling himself of a king is he's trolling the opposition, and he is distracting us, distracting the media, so that we don't talk about the nuclear scientists who were accidentally fired.
Right.
So that we don't talk about the bird flu experts that were accidentally fired. So that we don't talk about the 9/11 survivors who are going to lose their benefits. So that we don't talk about the price of eggs that is through the roof that he had promised to slash on day one. So that we don't talk about Jocelyn Carrasco, the 11-year-old girl in Texas who died by suicide because she was being bullied at her school by being told that her parents were going to be taken away by ICE. She was being terrorized by others. We need to create safe spaces for the children of immigrants, for the immigrant children, so that they can go to school without being the victims of this kind of terror. And I am going to continue talking about that.
Look at how the left's narrative is trying to criminalize an innocent man, and Trump did not run away from anything. He faced false accusations head on and indeed proved his innocence. Meanwhile, the true corruption of the left goes unpunished, right? And that's why we need a king like Trump to drain the swamp once and for all.
Trump remembered what Time magazine is, because a few weeks ago, Elon Musk was on it, and he was quoted as saying, "Oh, does anyone read Time? Where's Time magazine?" And then here we are with a fake cover,
Suddenly.
which he's also decorated Mar-a-Lago with some fake covers.
He says the quiet price.
I know.
You know, quiet
I make
peace
them
out
up with my
loud.
own cover for my hallway too, because I didn't know you could do that. But I also think the fact that he's calling himself a king is not surprising, shocking, anything, because he's been acting like a king the whole time. He told us he'd be a dictator for his first day only, but that's because he also knew then he'd just become a king. So
that's what he wants.
Same messaging there.
Yeah.
But I agree with Anna on this, that I think this is such an easy thing to be like, oh my God, he said it himself. This is a huge deal. This is the same thing he said. The Constitution is inconvenient for him. He's talked about the courts don't have, J.D. Vance went out and tweeted a week ago, the courts can't even overstep the executive branch. Like, a lot of things have been said, and this is a clear reflection of all that, but I think it is to distract from a lot of the things.
Get it on this real
They're
quick.
starting to.
Where is the Republican Party is what I want to know.
They're starting
are the
to get
ones
upset.
who can step up and stop this nonsense.
Attention now clearly witness blatant hypocrisy. While they are undeniably accusing Trump of using a king metaphor in their rhetoric, they ignore how he is actually governing and putting America first in reality. The truth is that Trump is using his presidential authority to reverse years of damage caused over many years by progressive yet ultimately failed policies. The system is in panic. Find out why Trump's success is so frightening and impactful.
Just a couple of things. As a fact check, America does not have a king. Donald Trump is not a king. Ukraine is not run by a dictator. It is run by the duly elected President Zelensky,
Who did not
has
invade
a
themselves, by
who
the
did not
way.
invade themselves and has a 57% approval rating with his own people. But I'll say this, I would really caution Trump world against over-interpreting the endorsement of him winning to mean that he can just do anything and he can throw decades of what the GOP and the country have
don't
stood
people
for
say
out
that
the
he
window.
has a mandate?
He has, so he does have a historically high approval rating with the Republican Party right now, but it's already dropping in his first month in office by nearly 7 points. If he treats our allies worse than our enemies, that is going to backfire even with his own party, but broadly with the country. If he doesn't address the things he was elected to do, the cost of living, and instead puts in place trade wars that rise the cost of living, that is going to backfire. And finally, if he comes after things like birthright citizenship, where there are voters who voted for him in this country, who support him, who are citizens because of birthright citizenship, it will backfire. So I just would caution him and those around him of thinking that they have this sweeping endorsement to do anything that they want. There are guardrails in place, and the American public will reject
Republicans
it.
in Congress to step up and do their job.
Very clear, right, Patriots? While the left and the liberal media try in every way to undermine our president, Trump continues to lead with strength and determination. Don't be fooled by the narratives and distractions of the left. And if you, like me, believe in a strong, prosperous, and truly free America, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and come be part of this family. You too? Leave your like, share this video with as many people as you can, and also leave your comment here, which is very important to me. Thank you very much to everyone. Just don't forget to share. Until we meet again.